Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Kathy Johnson, and I would like to introduce Greg Dixon, running for Alder from District 16. As we begin, please tell our viewers a bit more about how your educational, vocational, and civic experience has prepared you for the position and why you decided to run for Alder.
Well, I first want to thank the panel for having me. It's great that you're putting this all together. I appreciate the opportunity. So my name is Greg Dixon, and I live with my wife Emily Steinway in the Glendale neighborhood, about 2 blocks from Virginia Henderson Elementary School. Right up from Edna Taylor Conservation Park. We moved to this area because my wife is a naturalist, and she worked at the Aldo Leopold Nature Center, and this gave her a chance to be able to walk to work. So, you know, I got into this race because it seems like we're at a crossroads right now. We're at a time when there are 3 major crises, maybe 4, depending on how you want to count them. So we have the pandemic, we have racial strife, and we have political divide. Just unprecedented crises all coming together at the same time. I'm concerned because I'm not sure that the direction of the Madison City Council, the Common Council, has really pivoted to address these major crises. My background, I have a varied background, from electronics to computers. I have a degree in psychology. I'm currently a press photographer. I'm a photographer for universities, and I shoot mainly high school and college sports. I have a varied background, and I think that I can bring some new ideas to the table, and that's why I decided to run. Thanks.
Okay, our first question: what issue or issues have you identified as being of primary concern to the residents of your district, and how would you approach tackling them?
Thanks. I have an acronym called C, which defines the theme of my campaign. So S is safe neighborhoods. E is equality of opportunity, and the final E is the environment. Emily and I are members of the Glendale Neighborhood Association. Before we lived here, we lived on kind of the northeast side in Eakin Park. And in both neighborhoods, safe neighborhoods comes up at every neighborhood meeting. People are concerned about that. There have been a couple of shooting incidents in our neighborhood, a rash of car thefts, car break-ins. People talk about neighborhood safety all the time. I advocate maintaining funding for the police department, which defines my candidacy some. I have a couple of candidates a couple of opponents who think we should decrease funding for the police department, which I don't think makes any sense. That said, the police cannot make our neighborhoods safe. For that, we really need equality of opportunity. Research shows that when opportunity goes up, crime goes down. I have a number of ideas for how to raise opportunity in our neighborhoods. Some of them are based on work of Raj Chetty and are seen in the tool, the Opportunity Atlas, that you can find on my Facebook page or my website, Greg for Madison. Finally, the environment. There are some new opportunities with the Biden administration. The Biden administration wants to bring money and focus to green technology. We can take advantage of that in Madison. And so again, C is the acronym. Thanks.
There will be an advisory referendum on the ballot in April about a number of modifications to the Common Council, including changing the number of members, making it full-time, and changing the term of office. Which of the ideas being advanced do you embrace? Why or why not?
Thanks. Yeah, I attended the Common Council meeting where the three referenda were passed, and the question for the council was whether they were going to put a binding referendum on this ballot for all four ideas, increasing the salaries of the alders from $13,000 to potentially $71,000, going full time, and the two other ideas. And my biggest problem with this proposal is that there are lots of people out of work right now from the pandemic. Again, we face these three major crises. And is this really the time that the alders should be proposing just a massive pay increase for themselves? From $13,000 to $71,000. I just see this as the alders, the city council being out of touch with our current crises. Now is not the time to be talking about this, and to talk for a second about the merits of it. So if we cut the number of alders in half, the alders become professional politicians. It will really put it out of reach of the average working person. Alders have traditionally had day jobs. They're not professional politicians. They're people just like everyone else. At the same city council meeting, one alder said that his last election cost him $10,000. If it's a full-time $71,000 a year position, it's just going to be vastly higher and just impossible for your average working person to become an alder. So I oppose the proposal as a set. Thanks.
Homelessness, evictions, and a lack of affordable housing are vexing problems for Madison that seem to have been exacerbated at a time of COVID-19. What ideas would you advance or support to help solve these problems?
It's just a huge problem. I mentioned in one of my that a lot of people are out of work. It tends to be lower income people who are out of work. A lot of them are renters. They haven't been able to afford their rent. There's been a moratorium on evictions, but the rent that they owe is accumulating. And so what's going to happen when the moratorium ends? They're going to owe all of this money. There's an interesting neighborhood in District 16. It's called the Twin Oaks neighborhood. The Twin Oaks neighborhood was a collaboration between Habitat for Humanity and the city of Madison. I would really like to develop ideas like that where lower income people can own their own homes. So own their own homes, own their own condominiums. It's a very different idea than what we've pursued in the past, where people get, Section 8 vouchers toward their rent. We really need to build a way that lower income people can own their own houses. They can create equity. They can build wealth. Rather than what we're doing right now, where it seems like lower income people are getting further and further away from those with income. So I suggest that we work with the Biden administration again on ideas like this, where lower income people can own their own homes. I think we should team with Habitat for Humanity and use the Twin Oaks neighborhood as an example. Thanks.
With the selection of a new police chief and the creation of a community oversight board, there's a lot of attention focused on policing and criminal justice, both from the perspective of racial equity in law enforcement and the concern of many citizens that, in fact, crime, especially car thefts and home burglaries, is increasing and that police response is inadequate. How would you deal with those concerns?
So District 16 is interesting, where we're the southeastmost part of Madison. Geographically, it's one of the largest districts, and we're in the process of annexing even more area. Part of the town of Burke, part of Blooming Grove are due to become part of District 16. A lot of people don't know this, but there's a section of District 16 south of the Beltline that most people think is in McFarland, but that's Madison now, and that part of Madison is due to get larger. So I mentioned this earlier that I do not advocate cuts in the police department. Again, geographically, our district is getting larger. Over time, just to maintain the police coverage, we would have to increase the amount of funding. I am just completely against the idea of cutting funding to the police department. But that being said, I mentioned earlier that one of the themes of my campaign is equality of opportunity. So when opportunity goes up, crime tends to go down, and there's a real lack of opportunity in a number of among lower income people in Madison. There's I mentioned before the Opportunity Atlas, which you can see on my Facebook page and my website at Greg for Madison. The neighborhoods near McFarland tend to have higher opportunity. So a kid growing up there who's low income can expect to make $30-some thousand when they're an adult. Other neighborhoods in the district, they can expect to make $25,000 as an adult. What are the differences between those neighborhoods, and can we bring aspects of the Twin Oaks neighborhood and Liberty Place to the neighborhoods north of the Beltline? Neighborhoods like Glendale, neighborhoods like East Buckeye, and neighborhoods like Albion that currently have lower opportunity than those neighborhoods that are near McFarland. Thanks.
Madison businesses, oops, I guess we're getting low on time. What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
So, I want to get back to my central themes. The safe neighborhoods. Again, I think we should maintain police funding, but the police, again, cannot solve the problems of safe neighborhoods. For that, we really need equality of opportunity. The people who put together the Opportunities Atlas have worked with Joe Biden and the Biden team. Opportunity Insights is the name of the organization, and again, you can find links to that on my website at gregformadison.com. The keys to equality of opportunity are good schools, social capital, so like people that you have the opportunity to meet in your neighborhood. And the income divide is the enemy of equality of opportunity. So really high incomes, really low incomes, really tear people apart and lead to lack of opportunity. Segregation leads to lack of opportunity, and strong families lead to better opportunity. So I mentioned the neighborhoods around McFarland have much better opportunity. So which of those five do those neighborhoods have? We should explore that. Those neighborhoods are right next to the neighborhoods like Glendale. Can't we bring aspects of the neighborhoods with better opportunity to the ones with less opportunity? We can. We have the opportunity to do that, And that's what I suggest that we do. Again, you can visit my website at gregformadison.com. Thank you.
I want to thank Greg for speaking with us and the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. As with every election, please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.